Hello and welcome, I'm Damien, back with you today for another video looking at interesting teams that you can manage in this year's Football Manager. Now we've gone hunting high and low, looking for teams in the big five countries for where we can utilise their tradition in youth development to have a long-term save where we're just pushing for success through using the fantastic youth academies that they have. So before we jump into that, I'd just like to say, if you're enjoying the content on the channel, please subscribe to the channel, like the videos, and make sure you comment down below. Right, now let's get into this. Let's have a look at club number 5. We find ourselves first off in Spain with Espanyol, looking to bounce back from relegation last season from La Liga. On the east side of the country, Espanyol was founded back in 1900 by an engineering student at the University of Barcelona. The first club to be formed exclusively by Spanish fans of the game. Originally the club's jersey was bright yellow, due to a friend of the club founder owning a textile business and having an abundance of yellow material left over from previous work. 10 years later, the club changed its name to Club Deportivo Espanyol and chose the blue and white stripes that we're so accustomed to today. In not so past history, the club has reached 2 Copa del Rey Cup finals, winning the competition in 2000 against Atletico Madrid 2-0, before winning it again 6 years later 4-1 against Real Zaragoza. With the win in 2006, this granted Espanyol passage to the UEFA Cup, where they made it all the way to the final before having a tie against fellow Spanish side Sevilla, but losing on penalties 3-1 after ending 2-2 at normal time. In recent years, the club has held its own in La Liga, even giving Pochettino his first managerial job at the club, before going through 10 different managers in the last 8 years before their stay in La Liga ended in July 2020 when they lost to their biggest rivals Barcelona 1-0. The club were taken over by a Chinese businessman in 2016, and with his backing and their tradition of using younger players like Navarro, Martin, Roca and Melendo, can you use the fantastic facilities to lift them back into the big time and back into Europe after a decade away? Can you use the youth academy to bring players through the quality of Eric Bailly or Raul Tamudo? And as we can see here on the screen, we've got superb training facilities, superb youth facilities. We're sitting in the second division. When you look at the first team, there are some, big name players for this league. And then we jump into the development centre and we have a look at the Espanyol B. We've got quite a lot of potential here with a number of players. Much better than what you'd expect in the second division. And then the under-19s, again, there's quite a few players that have a very good potential. So definitely Espanyol, one of the teams outside of the top division who would be an excellent candidate for a youth save and have made my number 5. Let's jump into number 4. We move over to Italy, and in the region of the Lombardy we find the club Brescia down on their luck and sitting in Serie B. A club that's been quite a yo-yo side over the last 20 years, kept up to Serie A, holding its own for a few seasons before dropping back down. This is a club that's very well known for using its youth facilities well, bringing players through, but also sticking to the Italian core. The club, founded back in 1911, has had minimal trophies added to its cabinet, but has had some of the well-known players in the locker room, including the World Player of the Year Roberto Baggio, who did lead Brescia to a 7th placed finish in the 2000-2001 season. The Brescia faithful were also lucky to have seen Andrea Pirlo, Luca Toni and Pep Guardiola wear the blue and white kit over the years. The team, unable to stay in Serie A over the last decade, doesn't have the financial status of other clubs and definitely does need to use those youth, great training and great youth facilities to call upon to assist it to get promotion back to the promised land. With the media predicting them to finish 3rd this year and having a look at the squad, they've got a core with quite a large amount of ability and potential, and then to add to that, when we have a look at their under-20s, we've also got a few more players there with the potential required for a promotion push, and then the under-18s backing that up with a number of players sitting in that middle to higher potential range at the club. Another club chosen outside of that top division, definitely a place you could look to do a youth development save, one with those excellent facilities, that we can use to bring players through to assist the club in spending less money and still getting to the top division and pushing for Europe. On to number 3. Over to Germany now, and to Hamburg, where we visit the club Hamburger SV. The club was founded back in 1919, where 3 clubs merged together, although its origins can be traced back into 1887. Playing in the traditional red and white kit, the club has a fantastic stadium, the Volkspark Stadion, with a capacity of 57,000 fans, where they currently ply their trade in the second division. A club that has a proud record of never being relegated until 2018, where a poor season saw them tumble out of the top division. The club has a number of trophies in the cabinet, with them winning the top division 6 times, the Pokal 3 times and the League Cup twice as well, also including a European Cup in the 82-83 season. Throughout the years, Hamburg has had some household names wear the red and white kit, including Franz Beckenbauer, Felix Magath, Marcus Babbel, Kevin Keegan, Sun Heung-min, and in more recent history, Vincent Kompany. The club is well known as a grassroots organisation, with the youth development being the strong theme throughout the club, which is why we are here today. With the club struggling since its 1987 Pokal Cup win and having to sell off its best players, you can now take over the club in the second division and put your stamp on the team with the use of the Youth Academy to bring on one of the most supported clubs in Germany back to where it belongs in the top division. As you can see, they do have excellent training facilities, great youth facilities, and when we look at the squad, they have got players with solid ability, solid potential, but also when we jump down into their B team, we've got a few players here that also do have the potential to step up, as well as the under-19s, those top 3 players that have great potential for players so young and could also be used as you push back up into the top division. Another club that definitely can be added to that thought of the youth save environment, and one where you can use the youth players to assist you with getting back up into the top division and into Europe. Right, let's get on to number 2. We land in England, and to a club who really needs no footballing introduction, Middlesbrough, who have a rich history of developing youth players on Tyneside, now find itself in the second division of English football, plying its trade in the Championship. Formed in 1876, Middlesbrough was one of the founding members of the Premier League when it was created in 1992, but unfortunately it was also relegated at the end of that same season. Another club wearing red and white hasn't given their supporters too much to celebrate over the years. The 2004 League Cup win was their first and only major trophy to date. However, they did also reach the 2006 UEFA Cup final against Sevilla, but couldn't do the business against the UEFA Cup specialists. The club has an iconic home at the Riverside Stadium, which has a capacity of 34,000, which is way too large for them not to be playing in the Premier League. With some amazing players playing for the club over the years, including Paul Gascoigne, Brian Robson, Jack Charlton, Graham Southgate, and one of the real fan favourites from the Premier League era, Juninho. Middlesbrough has always stayed true to its values of bringing players through the Youth Academy, including Stuart Downing, Adam Johnson and Lee Cattermole being 3 notable players who have graduated out of their academy. Unfortunately, since 2017, where the team was relegated, Middlesbrough has fought hard in and around the playoffs to return to the Premier League, but haven't managed to get it back up before the last season. The club was saved from relegation by the current manager Neil Warnock. Can you stay true to the club and utilise its strong youth system to get back into the Premier League and start building a side capable of qualifying for Europe? And when we look at the training and youth facilities here, both superb. We look at the squad, and we really do have, while there's not a lot of value here, we do have a large amount of players with really solid potential, which will be fantastic, which is exactly what we'll need trying to take this team back to the Premier League, especially when their media prediction is to finish mid-table in 11th. But also when we look at the under-23s, a few players here, really solid potential, and same in the youth, in the under-18s. Again, it's probably about 5 or 6 players there with some really solid potential for the future. Middlesbrough definitely one of those teams that a youth development save would be absolutely perfect playing with the club from Tyneside, and one which could be a really long, interesting save. Now let's jump over to number 1. Travelling over the channel to a region in eastern France, close to the Swiss border, we find the club Sochaux. The club was founded in 1928 and currently plays in the second division of France. The team plays in a very nice looking gold and navy blue kit, which would look great plying its trade back on the top stage, which has missed its presence for the last 7 years. The reason why this team is my number one pick is that the club is truly well known for its youth academy, which has regularly finished in the top 10 of the youth academy ranking in France, which, considering the competition from the other large clubs, is an amazing achievement. The youth academy has produced some amazing talents, including Alhaji Diouf, Jeremy Menez and Bernard Gagini. With the club being purchased by a Chinese real estate group this year, it looks like there'll be money to spend as well as an amazing group of youth players with potential coming through Sochaux. It is an absolutely exciting save with a team ready to be on the up. And I would say definitely a team that's got some great training facilities, excellent youth facilities. When we look at the squad here, they've got some really fantastic players with potential that you're going to need, as the team is rated to finish in the bottom half by the media. But then also, if we were to add some of the B team there, we've also got really good potential here, 4 to 5 stars, as well as the under 19 is absolutely stacked with talent. Sochaux would have to be absolutely my number one tip for interesting saves where you can utilise the youth academy and youth development part of the save. Welcome back, and I hope you enjoyed that top 5 teams that I've suggested for youth development saves. As you can see, all those teams, the board, the club vision was all about developing the youth. It had the correct facilities, teams that are reasonably well positioned to get back out of that second tier in their country and get back and fighting into the top division. So if you enjoyed the content today, please leave a comment down below. Let me know if there's any teams that you think would be better suited, and let me know if there's any other teams you'd like me to talk about. We'll be definitely coming back with another top 5 video in regards to teams that need a rebuild, so have a look out for that. Otherwise, I'll definitely see you all soon. Goodbye for now.